Good morning, everyone, and welcome along to our WA Productions. Bradley Young here, and just to bring you an end of season review on Sunderland's reflective the season this season. Obviously, Sunderland finished in 16th place. Not as many as expected to be, but many people were expected to finish at least mid-table this season. I thought quite a few people were going for playoffs as well. Quite a few people said, I think Sunderland will reach playoffs to me. Quite a few people said when Michael Beale came in and obviously had that bit of a dross moment, I thought everyone turned around and said to me that we're going to go down this season, obviously. But it's the case now. We've actually stayed in the Championship again for another season. Do you think we're going to go down next season? I've got no idea. What do you think, by the way? Coach's Corner. Good friend of mine, he says hi. Hiya, Coach. All right, how you doing, Coach's Corner? Are you okay? Long time no see. But yes, I've got a few questions for Sunderland fans to answer as well, if any Sunderland fans are coming on the channel at this moment in time. Looking back at the season, what were the initial expectations at Sunderland AFC, and did the team meet, exceed, or fall short of these expectations? Well, I'm not going to lie, but the expectations were obviously for us to finish, obviously, like I just said a minute ago, for us to finish mid-table. But obviously we didn't finish mid-table. We finished kind of 7th from bottom, which is kind of not mid-table. If you look at it mid-table, it would be like between 11th and 14th. We finished just below that drop. We finished in 16th place, which obviously is still not a bad position where Sunderland are in at this moment in time, because obviously Sunderland have stayed in the Championship, has survived the Championship, and obviously not going down to League One. So Sunderland's kind of have dropped a bombshell this season again. But is Sunderland going to go down next season? Who knows? Like I've just said before as well. But the expectations were obviously for us to finish mid-table anyways. So, number two, what were obviously the defining moments about Sunderland's season, and were obviously both positive and negative. So, the positive signs, obviously this season has been obviously Tory Mowbray getting us them points. Otherwise, if Tory Mowbray didn't get us them points, we would have been dropped down in the relegation zone. I think if Tory Mowbray wasn't here this season whatsoever, if Tory Mowbray left at Sunderland because he was ill, and obviously a different manager came in, just say Michael Beale came in or Dodds, obviously kept the club going for at least 2 or 3 months before we brought in another manager. If that did happen in that scenario, I thought we would have been down in a relegation battle. I thought we would have been down in a relegation zone. But obviously, Tory Mowbray stayed at Sunderland and obviously got us 10 points, which is a positive thing. He got us 27 points out of, I think it was 42 games. No, sorry, not 42 games, but 27 points out of 15, 16 games, sorry. So, not bad. So, that's not a bad record whatsoever under Mowbray. We had a 1.4 points per game ratio as well as winning games. Obviously, when Mowbray got sacked, he didn't get sacked, but Mowbray left the club. And then obviously, Michael Beale came in. And obviously, Mike Dodds took the 2 games before Beale came in against West Brom and obviously against Leeds United before Beale came in on the 18th of December. On the 19th of December, I think it was 6 days before Christmas, Beale came in. I know that one. But obviously, Mike Dodds took over for those 2 games against West Brom and Leeds, and obviously both of them were victories. A 1-0 against West Brom, and I think also 1-0 against Leeds as well, I think. Don't get me wrong. Hold on. 2-1 against Leeds, I think it was. I think Leeds equalised and we scored again, I think it was. I think it was 2-1 at Sunderland at home. But yeah, that was a positive thing as well. Obviously, Mike Dodds took over those 2 games and obviously got us 6 points out of 6 before Beale came in. And this was quite a negative thing when Beale came into the TM managerial role. I thought, obviously, as head coach, I thought he didn't do his best as head coach, to be honest. I thought Michael Beale had the same at Rangers, to be fair. Quite a few Rangers fans were saying to me that obviously Michael Beale obviously was the best for Rangers because apparently like 10 points clear of run of form when obviously the lost games, and obviously Celtic. I think Celtic won the league. I think it was. I think it was back in 2022. Obviously, when Celtic won that league, and obviously Rangers finished second. But to be honest, I think Michael Beale's season at Sunderland was just a thought of a negative patch for us, because I think he played something like 14 games. He lost 10, drawing 2, and won 2. So winning 2 games out of 14 is not good enough, to be honest, for obviously a football club like Sunderland, the size of the football club, the fan base of the football club. Obviously, it's massive. It's getting 40,000 in week out every time we play at home. Obviously, away games, we always get the away game following all the time. Obviously, games sell out all the time. I say on the Sunderland website, obviously against Watford, last game of the season, or last away game of the season, that game got sold out. Obviously, QPR away from home, that got sold out. Birmingham City away from home, that got sold out, even though we got beat against our former manager, Tony Mowbray. Mowbray took over Birmingham for a short period of time, but obviously he was ill, and obviously I thought Gary Rowett came in. Gary Rowett I was thinking of Gary Rowett. But Gary Rowett came in, obviously took over them, and obviously then they went down. I feel sorry for Mowbray, what he had to go through. All the best to Mowbray as well. But yeah, defining the negative thoughts of this season, I thought was because of Michael Beale one, obviously coming in and obviously winning only amount of 2 games out of 14 games, which is absolutely appalling. Obviously, quite a few players as well wasn't happy under him. Obviously, when I think it was Trey Hume was getting subbed off, apparently Trey Hume went over to Michael Beale, tried to shake his hand, and Michael Beale didn't shake his hand. So that was absolutely shocking. Then apparently something between Beale and Pritchard kicked off, and obviously that's why Pritchard left and he went to Birmingham for. I don't know if that's true, if that's not true. I don't know about that one. If Pritchard obviously was spitting his dummy out because obviously he wasn't getting game time under Beale. I don't know anything about that. I think apparently, that's what I've been hearing, apparently him and obviously Beale had a bust up. So obviously that's why obviously Beale and him, obviously he never played under Beale that much. Obviously he was coming off the bench. Obviously he was playing the likes of Barr and O'Sheesh, which I thought was quite poor. I thought Pritchard for these type of games, obviously against promotional rivals, you need likes of Leicester, likes of Leeds, likes of Ipswich, all those. Obviously, Leicester and Ipswich have gone up, but Leeds have got a good shot of going up as well this season in the playoffs. Good luck to Leeds as well, even though I don't like them. But good luck to them, good luck to Southampton, good luck to West Brom, good luck to Norwich, going up for the season as well. So, question number 3, I'm moving on to now. So, who were the standout performers for Sunderland this season, and how did they contribute to the team's success or struggles? So, I've got a lot to say on this player. Obviously, he's one of Sunderland's, I think he's on the highest score for Sunderland at this moment in time this season, and that's Jack Clarke. I think playing without Jack Clarke, I thought we would struggle. I thought, obviously, when Jack Clarke got injured, from February time to April time, when he was out for a good 6 to 7, probably 8 weeks, I thought we actually struggled. That's the time when we did struggle under Beale, because obviously Beale got, obviously he got rid of him. KLD and Speakman got rid of him on, I think it was February, just the end of February, I think it was. Then I think Dodds took over for obviously a long range of time until the end of the season. Then obviously I think that's how obviously Sunderland's impacted without Jack Clarke. Obviously, if them type of players like Jack Clarke, obviously running down your bloody wing and stuff like that, crossing it in, I don't think no player's better than him, to be honest, in a Sunderland shirt at this moment in time. Luke O'Nien, obviously, this season as well, he's had a lot of liabilities this season, obviously giving away cheap free kicks, giving away penalties. Could have had a handball against Watford. Well, it did look like a handball, to be fair, but obviously he was lucky that he got away with it. Daniel Ballard as well. Ballard got away with a handball a few times this season. Obviously, Ballard gave away a few penalties. Scored some own goal against Newcastle in the 3-0 loss in the derby. So, for me, standout performers this season, I think it's been Jack Clark. I think Pierre-Emerick's had a few standout performances this season as well, but he did go back to his not kind of best. He went back to, obviously, I think Pierre-Emerick went back to quite bad, to be honest, when Michael Beale came in, but obviously when Beale left, I thought Ekwar picked up the pieces again, obviously under Mike Dodds. Dan Neil as well. Dan Neil's been playing really, really well, good football this season. I think Dan Neil's a good shout as well. Have given out a good standout performer this season for Sunderland as well. Obviously, how they could contribute to the team's success or struggles. Obviously, Jack Clark, standout performer. But the team's success, it was more for the team's success than the team's struggles, because obviously when he was injured, the team struggled without him. Obviously, they were playing the likes of Mundle, Barr, Rigg, O'Sheesh, all them type of players. As well, obviously Patrick Roberts was out injured for a couple of months as well, a few times, obviously a couple of weeks as well before that. So Patrick Roberts hasn't had a good season this season. Obviously, he's been a bit poor than last season. But I think this opinion for me, it could be different for you, but I think he had players in front of him who could play off him last season, like obviously feed off Ahmad and stuff. But obviously, we haven't got that type of model at the stadium anymore. We haven't got, obviously, Ahmad to feed off. We've got the likes of, obviously, Rigg or Shish to feed off now, which are more like central number 10s, more like coming out on the wings and helping Roberts out. I think next season, I think we need to sign Ahmad on a permanent. Obviously, he's only 7 million to buy, so why not try and buy him? If this is obviously possible for Sunderland to buy. Also, as well, Anthony Patterson, I think he's been quite good this season. But obviously, as well, he'd be getting call-ups from, obviously, Premier League teams. Obviously, he would be coming in for him. Apparently, Arsenal's interested in him. Apparently, Liverpool's interested in him. Wolves are interested with him at one point. Leicester was at one point. There was quite a few clubs in the Premier League who was interested in Pato's, obviously, response to the football club. Obviously, that's how Pato's trying to get to the Premier League by, obviously, Premier League clubs trying to buy him in. But there'll be a price on this for, obviously, who goes and who doesn't go. Obviously, Corey Evans is a free agent at the end of the season. Obviously, he'll be leaving on a free agent. He won't be signing another contract at Sunderland. But as well, I think also Patterson, obviously, if it just depends on Patterson's season next season. If he starts well next season in Sunderland, I think he'd be gone by, if he doesn't go this season, I think he'd be gone by definitely January time, or obviously next transfer window next summer. I think he'll be definitely gone. Jack Clark, I don't know what's happening with him. I don't know if his agent's going to sit down with him and have a nice little talk about it, see if we can get a new deal sorted out for him, see if we could just sit down, have a nice time, a new deal for him, see if we can stay for another year or two at the club at least, see if Sunderland can get out the Championship one more time for the third time, lucky as the last, obviously, pressure push off of them. But it's not all on one player. It's about everyone performing as a team. It's not just on one player, guys, so you can't just rely on Jack Clark to score goals and obviously get you promoted, because football doesn't work like that. I think we've talked about that topic for a while, so we're going to move on to question number 4. So reflecting on the manager's performances, so obviously we've had 3 managers in this season. We've had, obviously, Tony Mowbray has been in this season. Obviously, Dodds has took over a few games, and obviously Beale's coming for obviously 7-8 games, probably 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games this season, something like that. So reflecting on the manager's performance, what were the key decisions and strategies that shaped Sunderland's season? Well, Tony Mowbray, I thought he was quite good for Sunderland in a way as well. I thought, obviously, reflecting on him, I thought he done a really, really good job for the club. Obviously, the likes of Christian Speakman and obviously the likes of KLD absolutely love Mowbray at the club. Mowbray had a 1.4 points per game thing, like I mentioned earlier. Obviously, reflecting the manager's squad, I thought Tony Mowbray was one of the best managers in the squad this season, obviously helping the squad out, obviously trying to dig points away from home and at home as well. Obviously, like I said before, he got 27 points in 16, 17 games, which is quite good for obviously a football club like Sunderland, who's just got promoted from League One less than a season and a half ago, back in two years in May, I think it was. So absolutely brilliant there. Obviously, the strategies what he shaped this season as well. I think the strategies what Mowbray has shaped this season. Obviously, there was a few key players out injured. Obviously, there was Clark out, Roberts out a few times this season under Mowbray, and obviously he had to revert Roberts in, obviously bringing Barr in, obviously bringing the likes of Riggin, obviously bringing the likes of Job in, trying to help Roberts out, kind of. Obviously more like, obviously, what do you call him, coming in, Barr, because obviously he's a reverted right winger for obviously Patrick Roberts. So obviously that's going to be his next replacement. Barr's going to be coming in and obviously playing for Roberts when he's out. Clark, obviously, the next replacement for him will be Mundo. Obviously, during the January window when we signed him. Obviously, before that, it would be difficult because obviously he was only the one left winner at the club. Apparently, as well, Paul's just texted as well, Paul Wilson. Apparently, Dak's going to Birmingham. Apparently, I knew Dak would go to Birmingham under Tony Mowbray. I knew that 100%. I knew he would go there. Because I did mention it to obviously a few college students the other day who are all Mackhams. I turned around and said I think Dak will be going to Birmingham, obviously, to join Mowbray because Mowbray signed, obviously, Dak at Sunderland. Obviously, he played for Blackburn under Mowbray as well. So this is the thing, this is the regime under Mowbray. I think, obviously, Dak likes playing under Mowbray, under, obviously, Mark Venus, because Mark Venus and Mowbray, the coaching staff's been around for about 20 years at different football clubs. So he used to manage Coventry, used to manage big clubs like Blackburn, used to manage different club as well. Obviously, us, he used to manage he's managed Birmingham still. Obviously, he's still their manager. Obviously, he's not feeling too well at the moment. Obviously, he recovers hopefully very soon. But yes, the next question, we're halfway through the podcast. So, how did Sunderland's performances compare to those of their rivals or competitors in the league? So, Sunderland's performances, obviously, I thought we performed better against top clubs than bottom clubs. I thought the likes of Rotherham, the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, the likes of Huddersfield, the likes of Birmingham City, the likes of all those bottom four, we've performed terrible away and at home as well. But at the top against Leeds United, Leicester, obviously Ipswich, I thought we performed really, really good against those kind of teams. Obviously, Leicester will scrape the draw down at obviously the King Power. They will scrape the draw down there. They obviously they beat us up here 1-0 at home, obviously. But it's better than getting beat 2-0, 3-0, 4-0 against different clubs like Blackburn. Obviously getting beat off, obviously Rotherham, Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously Leeds as well. We got a good win at there at home, 2-1. Obviously went down to their stadium. We got a 0-0 draw against Leeds. Ipswich Town first game of the season. Well, I think Ipswich did win against Sunderland. They won 2-1 against Sunderland, I think it was, of their first home game of the season. But obviously away from home at Ipswich, I think we got beat there as well, 2-1 at their ground. So I think the only team what bothered us this season away from home has been Ipswich. Obviously, Southampton as well, I think, obviously, never been quite a bogey team at their ground as well, obviously at the St. Mary's. Obviously, I can remember back in 2014, 2015, 16, something like that, when obviously Sunderland got beat 8-0 against Southampton at obviously St. Mary's Stadium. Obviously, the likes of obviously good goal scorers. Obviously, Southampton's got a brilliant team at this moment in time. But also, the likes of obviously Leeds United, obviously winning against Leeds United. Obviously, Daniel Farke has had a brilliant run of form before. Obviously, when we played them at home, their ground, at Ellen Road, when they had a kind of a slump under Daniel Farke. And obviously, they were like something like a lot of points clear in second place. And obviously, Ipswich were trying to chase them after a while. And Ipswich were actually top of the league at some point in November, December time, and they dropped to third. And they came back to second, and they dropped to third, came back to second, dropped down to third, and they actually managed to finish in second at 96 points, which is absolutely brilliant for Ipswich in 2 seasons. Obviously, getting promoted from League One to the Championship and getting promoted from Championship to Premier League. What I was on the podcast with last night with obviously Matt Phillips, obviously from the Talking Town podcast. So a good shout out to them as well. If we're watching later on, or obviously viewing it later on, a shout out to them. But yeah, different performances. Obviously, Sheffield Wednesday we're going to talk about now. Birmingham, obviously Rotherham. So obviously Sheffield Wednesday we got beat against 2-0 just at the last couple of weeks ago, well, a week a bit ago, like last Saturday. We got beat 2-0 off them. At their ground, we won them 3-0. Obviously, Birmingham, we obviously beat them 2-1. Obviously, at our ground, but obviously went down to their ground, I think, and got beat against, obviously, Tony Mowbray's side 2-1. Did we win Birmingham at home? I think we did. I think we got beat. I think we won Birmingham at Stadium of Light, I think. Yeah, 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 we won Birmingham at Stadium of Light. But we got beat down there 2-1 because Mowbray was there managing Birmingham back then. Also, Rotherham as well. Rotherham got kind of in the dumps as well because Rotherham got, I think Rotherham actually took a win. Yeah, they won 2-1 at home against us and obviously away from home. The won us as well at their ground as well, 2-1. So yeah, the competitors in this league and obviously the performances, I think they're comparing the more like the promotion sides, like first to fourth, the first to sixth, even like the top six. I think we're better against top six teams than obviously the bottom teams, like I've just mentioned before. Obviously, question 6 we're going to move on to now. Were there any particular matches or results that were pivotal in determining Sunderland's final standings? Well, obviously Sunderland were obviously mid-table under Mowbray. They were around about, well, they weren't even mid-table, they were further up than that. They were about 8th when Mowbray left. And obviously when Mike Dodds came in, Mike Dodds' ratio was only 0.9 points per game, which is absolutely shocking. Actually worse than Beale's, to be honest. So for me, Mike Dodds, I think he needs to go in the summer or at least bring someone else in with him. Obviously, we're looking at Will Still, we're looking at different managers like Paul Heckenbottom. Obviously, he's out the race now. We're looking at Danny Rowe from Sheffield Wednesday. We're looking at Liam Rosner, who just got sacked at Hull City. We're getting obviously good managers linked, but it's about if we're coming in or not. But the match, what I didn't like, obviously the pivotal, what I didn't like was when Coventry City beat us at home 3-0. Obviously, I was watching it from home, I can remember this right. When obviously Coventry won us 3-0, obviously in the Stadium of Light. The worst game as well for us was a 5-1 defeat against Blackburn. I thought the Blackburn game actually had a good Blackburn actually had a bad pivotal on us. I think that was the result what actually determined Sunderland's final standings was the 5-1 against Blackburn, obviously 2-0 against Sheffield Wednesday as well. 4 from bottom, obviously surviving in the relegation zone. Obviously, if Plymouth and Birmingham did win, and obviously Sheffield Wednesday lose to Sunderland, and Sheffield Wednesday would have went down, but obviously they didn't. Obviously, they kept their place in the Championship for next season. Obviously, Sheffield United's come down from the Premier League, and obviously that's a good derby next season for Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United. Obviously, there's Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds, Sheffield United and Leeds. There's some good derbies there next season if Leeds stay in the Championship as well. Derby's back in the obviously Championship as well. Derby's not far from Sheffield as well, so they've got some good derbies coming up. Sheffield Wednesday, which is quite local to them. Mansfield as well, obviously. I don't think they ever got promoted from League Two when they're still in League Two, which obviously, yeah. But we're going to move on to question 7. Looking at the squad as a whole, what areas do you think Sunderland excelled in, and where do you think we need to improve going forward? Well, that's a straightforward question out of the whole. I think we need to improve, actually, as a striker basis, I think we need to bring in a striker 100% this summer. Obviously, the strikers, what we've got now, obviously we've got Lewis Hamir, Eliza Bienda, who's going to come back on loan from Hibs. Obviously, we've got the likes of, obviously, Chris Rigg, who plays as a striker as well. Job, which plays as a reverted striker from, obviously, the number 10. Obviously, we've got Nazir Russian, who could be out in the summer as well. Obviously, apparently he didn't cope well at Sunderland due to obviously the barrier, language barriers and stuff like that. Mason Burstows went back to Chelsea, sorry. So there's a lot of players who I think we need to sign in the summer. I think what we need to do is in the summer get rid of a few players. I think we need to get rid of Rusian. I think we need to get rid of Hamir. I think we need to get rid of everyone who's a striker at this moment in time and bring in free agency for the strikers. Apparently looking at Ian Paveda from obviously Sheffield Wednesday, who's back at Leeds now. We'll link with him, obviously, so Sheffield Wednesday will want him on a permanent. Obviously, I think if it was between us and Sheffield Wednesday, I think he'll go to Sheffield Wednesday because obviously the performance what he had there for them last season, obviously the performances what he was putting in for them last season was great. So out of us and Sheffield Wednesday, I think he'll go to Wednesday 100%. Obviously, we're into signing someone called Davies as well from Barnsley. I don't know the lad, I haven't heard of the lad. Obviously, Callum Styles might know him very well, obviously from Barnsley himself. So we might be having a word with one another saying go to Sunderland. Obviously, Sunderland's a good fan base. Sunderland's a massive club to be at. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, as well, what I think we need to improve on as well is obviously bringing a left winger in, another right winger in, a number 10 in, and midfield. I think we need to improve a lot next season. If we need to get automatics next season, at least top 2, what Christian's people was actually planning out to be this season top 2, I think we need to try and rebuild a whole new squad. That's what we need to do. Or at least bring, like, if Will still comes in as a manager, try and bring players in from obviously Rennes, who used to manage back before Sunderland. So try and bring some of their players across to here. Obviously, Will Still's got the French. Obviously, he knows French, so obviously he's taught obviously French language, the French players as well who's over there. Obviously, you can learn the likes of Abdullah Bar, Pierre Ekwar, he knows quite a lot of those to help out them as well with obviously the language barrier. Obviously, Bar's recovered over his language barrier. Like, if anyone spoke English to him, you'll understand it. Same with Pierre Ekwar, he'll understand a lot of English as well right now. So I don't think Sunderland need kind of that. I think it's more like if we're bringing in different players from different clubs. So, like, if we're bringing someone in, I don't know, from a Ukrainian club, they need to bring in, like, a Ukrainian scout as well with them to help them out with the language barrier, or someone who's in the club now who's Ukrainian, like Timo Turachirov, like him. He knows Ukrainian because obviously he's a Ukrainian striker as well as obviously Russian. So I think Russian would have learned from him. Also, as well, going forward, I think we need a brand new midfield, like I've explained before, because obviously playing the likes of Ekwar and Job, I don't think Ekwar's a good midfielder, and I don't think Job is either. I think Job's playing better, will be higher up as a striker role, or higher up as a 10 role, whatever it is. But Ekwar, I think we need someone in with Ekwar. I think we need a good player. I think Paveda would be a good player in with obviously Ekwar as well if we did sign obviously Paveda, but I don't think there's a high enough chance that we will sign Paveda. But obviously, if we do sign Paveda, that would be bringing that kind of experience in the role of Paveda, because he's got that experience as well. Obviously, from Championship clubs, Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds, he can provide that experience for Sunderland. I know he's quite a young age still. I think he's 26, 27, but he can still provide that as well, experience. That's all I think we need going forward. Next question, which is question number 8. How did Sunderland fan base react to the team's performance throughout the season, and what role did their support play in the team's success? Good question, that one as well. How did this fan base react? Well, the fan base has reacted quite badly when obviously Michael Beale came in. Obviously, Michael Beale took over from obviously Mowbray. Obviously, the first game were defeated 3-0 against Coventry, and we got defeated on Boxing Day as well, which was quite embarrassing, to be fair. Obviously, New Year's Day, it's home against Preston North End. Obviously, I think that was Michael Beale's first game in charge. Obviously, with a win over Preston as well. I think it was his first win in charge. Obviously, the derby against Newcastle, I thought Michael Beale was being a bit cocky about the derby. I thought Michael Beale was bringing the players in, turning around, well, why don't we play a full team? We'll probably go and win it. Well, that wasn't the case. Newcastle had their full squad out. Obviously, the likes of Longstaff, Almiron, Isak had all their good players out. And obviously, if you play Isak up front, you've got to have someone as a good centre back like Ballard and 09. But we did play there. But obviously, I thought Ballard and 09 was a bit sloppy against Newcastle at home. So I think the fan base reacted really badly when Michael Beale came in. They didn't like Beale that much. They wanted him sacked, recorded words could absolutely shit. But obviously they wish him all the best and stuff at different clubs. So I think that's how the fan base reacted to the team's performances under Beale. I thought Beale was shocking as a manager myself. I thought if you were going to give it to anyone, give it to Dodds at least. Because obviously I thought Dodds at the first time he obviously managed before Beale came in, I thought Dodds played very well. Obviously I can remember the dates when they played them as well, the 9th of December against West Brom and the 12th of December against Leeds. Obviously we had 2 wins under Mike Dodds there for the first time of his spell. Obviously when Michael Beale came in, obviously a terrible slump. Then obviously the second time when Mike Dodds took over from Beale, obviously until the end of the season that didn't help either. So I think one manager, interim manager, like obviously if Mike Dodds stayed at Sunderland during the time without appointing another manager like Michael Beale, I thought we would have been at least 8th or 9th in the table. Obviously not playoffs, which I wouldn't understand getting, which I would understand not getting this season. Because I think last season as well, I think we were too good for our own heads really. I thought Sunderland were like aiming the expectations too high, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting getting playoffs again from League One to the Championship, getting playoffs back in the first season. I did say in mine, I did say it to the group when I'm in the RWA Productions group, I did turn around and say to them that we're going to get playoffs this season. Last season, I mean, like not this season gone, but last season when we got playoffs against Luton Town, I turned around and said to the RWA Productions group, I said we're going to get playoffs last season. Guess what we did? So Question 9 now we're going to move on to. Were there any surprises or unexpected developments during the season that had a significant impact on Sunderland's campaign? So, any surprises? So, I don't think there was many surprises, to be honest. I think there was more unexpected developments, to be honest, than surprises. I think it was one surprise, obviously, Mowbray, obviously getting the points like I've explained a few times to you all within the last half an hour. I think Mowbray obviously played us quite well this season, obviously until he got obviously left the club. Obviously I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, he left the club for a significant reason. But unexpected developments I thought was more like Beale coming in, obviously. Obviously that had a big significant impact on Sunderland's campaign. A massive, obviously, significant impact as well, massive one. And finally, as well, what are the main takeaways from this season from Sunderland AFC? What are the expectations for the club heading into next season? Well, the club heading into next season, obviously, we're getting a new manager in. Obviously, we'll get a new, backup manager, a kind of backup sort of an assistant manager, obviously, to help him out. So, obviously, if Will still comes in, I think he'll bring his brother in to help him out. If Danny Rowe came in, I think he'll bring in one of his backroom staff. If obviously Rusniak came in, I think he'll bring in one of his backroom staff to help him out. But yeah, the expectations, what we're aiming for next season, is either automatic promotion, I think, or at least try and hit between 4th and 7th for the playoffs. 3rd and 6th, for the playoffs. I think we're going to get playoffs next season, or at least automatics if we can. What we need to do is, if we need automatics, I think what we need to do is we need to rebuild as a squad. We need to bring in a different manager. We need to bring in a different assistant. We need to bring in different things like that. Because what we need to do is, because of these tight arses, like speaking with obviously KLD, we need to bring in the money and try and spend it. But obviously, apparently we're building a pitch at the Stadium Light for next season. We'll get the new pitch for the Stadium Light laid out next season. Obviously, as well next season, we'll get the new ticket office, a new club shop. Obviously, in the Black Cat's house, what used to be on the roundabout before heading into the stadium. So we'll get the new ticket office. I think it's the West Stand down at the bottom next to the main reception. We'll get it built there. Obviously, as well, a new, obviously, customer service lines getting built in 7 days a week, apparently between 9 and half 4. So that's going to be good for the club. But what I think we need for the club as well, I think the more positive side I think we need to do is more shirts for next season in bigger sizes. Like myself, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the smallest guy myself, so I think bringing these big sizes in, like I think we go over double XL at this moment in time, so if we're bringing like 3XLs and 4XLs, I think it would be great for obviously the fans, obviously to get obviously a bigger shirt if they or bigger than the R, which obviously I'm no smaller either, so I'm not saying much about myself. So yeah, good podcast, good end of the season review for Sunderland's season. I thought that was brilliant. Take care from Bradley Young yourself. He will be in for the next one. I think next season, I think we're going to have more videos from Jack Lincoln as well. I think he'll be having monthly updates, obviously, as project manager coming in. Obviously, we're going to try over the summer holidays as well to do like a football sort of thing. What we didn't do last year, we're trying to do a football tournament. Obviously, either at the Beacon of Light, if there's any spaces, or at Temple Park. So tickets will be on sale as well if we all have the event. So come along, support us and all that. So take care, guys. Love yous and leave yous, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.